Well, the Knicks steal game one is not a phrase I thought I would be saying today, but I'll tell you, hell of a game for the Knicks. Hell of a job going into Boston, into TD Garden, and coming away with a win, facing all the adversity, trailing by 20 points, and coming away and fighting back and winning that game was unbelievable. Unbelievable win for the Knicks. The best win in decades, probably. Because now there's belief. And I got to tell you, I didn't believe before. I'm not sure if I believe yet, to be honest with you, because the Celtics did not play well. They missed a million threes. They missed, 40-something threes. But, hey, when you're trailing by 20 points in the third quarter, and then about an hour later or an hour and a half later, this is what the call is. Maybe you got to see. Maybe you got something special going here. Maybe you do have to believe.
On the ball, White will inbound. It's off to Brown. Bridges there. They hold it. They trample. It's over. The Knicks have won.
Kevin Harlan, TNT last night at the TD Garden. Mikal Bridges rips the ball out of the hands and seals the win for the Knicks. And I listen. I'm in shock. I'm shocked. Because I didn't think the Knicks had really much of a chance, especially in game one. I figured they'd get blown out in game one. I put the game on. I went on a podcast right around when the game started. So I picked it up in like the second quarter, and then I was getting ready for work, and I'm glancing up, and they're down 15, and then they're down 18, and they're down 20. And it was just an overmatch. And it was exactly what I kind of thought was going to happen. It was going right according to plan as far as I saw. And I figured, okay, this game's over. I get on the bus heading to work, and I look down at my phone, and the Knicks are down by one. I mean, just a furious comeback. And the best part about this comeback was that it wasn't all Brunson. Brunson had his flurry where they were down when they got it to within 10. Brunson had his 8 or 10 straight points where he just went off and he scored 8 straight points or whatever it is. He got them the lead. So now they got the lead, but it was OG who had a huge game. 29 points. I mean, 10 of 20 from the field. It was Towns, 13 rebounds, 9 defensive rebounds. It was Mikal Bridges with 7 assists and some big shots, but I think it was mostly OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges on defense in the last 2 minutes of that overtime was brilliant. And the last play, stealing the ball, sealing the deal, getting the Knicks the win. And listen, if they play like this, if they play like that, they have a chance in this series. Now, I still think Boston will win the series, maybe in 6 games now. Boston's going to come out. They're going to play better. Okay, you took care of business. You got what you needed. You got one of the games in Boston. Now, obviously, you're playing with house money in game 2. But if you could somehow steal that, then you're in the driver's seat heading back to the Garden. And either way, regardless of what happens in game 2, the Garden's going to be rocking on Saturday. I believe it's Saturday when they play game 3 at the Garden, because now there's a belief. If they got blown out in the 2 games here, you knew that they lost the 4 games in the regular season to Boston. You knew that they lost the 0-10 against all the teams that were better than them. They haven't beaten a team that's better than them all year. Last night was the first time, because the Celtics are better than them, but they beat them last night. And you know what? And it was a resilient win. Coming back, they could have very easily laid down and said, okay, you know what? We'll get them in game 2. We'll try and get this steal of a game in game 2. We're down 20. It's not happening. It's not going to happen tonight. But they fought back. They played good defense. And then even at the end of regulation, when Brunson misses that runner, you figure, they worked so hard. They got it here, and they had to win it there. And then come out in overtime and just hit big shot after big shot. And to me, it was OG that was the star of this game. And I think that's the biggest plus that you could say about the Knicks, because you can't have it be all Brunson. Brunson is a great player. He's not good enough to take a team by himself and go beat a team like the Celtics. He's just not. He's not that type of player. He's not big enough. He will get his flurry, and he did. And it was at the most perfect time. Knicks down. They cut the 21-point or the 20-point lead down to 8, and then Brunson goes off for 2 minutes, scores his 10 points, gives the Knicks the lead, and then when he's on the bench, they extend the lead. They got it to 6 at one point. And listen, the Celtics were horrendous shooting the basketball last night. They couldn't shoot the basketball to save their life. They missed. They were 34 of 97 from the field. 34 of 97. They were 25% from three-pointers. They missed 45 three-pointers. 45. I've never even heard of a number like that. And for to go 15 of 60 from three, that's not going to happen again. That's why I think the Celtics are still in okay shape here. Because it took a game where the Celtics went 15 for 60 for the Knicks to win in overtime by 3 points. Now, listen, they're one of the best three-point shooting teams in the history of the NBA. They're not going to have another 15 for 60. I don't know if you'll ever see another 15 for 60. The Knicks was 17 of 37, 45% from three. They hit their threes. OG with big shots. The Towns with big shots. They turned the ball over on defense. The Knicks did what they had to do, and that's what they have to do to win these games. But when you look at it from the Celtics' perspective, listen, we're not going to play worse than that, is what the Celtics are saying. And we took them to overtime and lost by 3. So I wouldn't get too over the top with this win. A great win. Don't get me wrong. Great win for the Knicks. I think Thibodeau had maybe his best game as coach of the Knicks in the however many years he's been the coach of this team. I think Brunson was good, but he wasn't the superstar. He wasn't all Brunson. You had Towns. You had Bridges, who had his best game, I think, as a Knick. You had OG, who was just unbelievable, hitting big shot after big shot. And then you had the Celtics, who just couldn't do. There was a lid on the rim for the Celtics. 15 of 60 from three-point range, and they lost by 3 points. So listen, the Knicks, we know they're not the better team. We know if you play, it's not a single elimination either. You have to win 4 out of 7. And it's not going to be easy for the Knicks to win 4 out of 7. I still think the Celtics win this series. And when you look at the other series, I mean, just what's going on in this second round, you got Oklahoma City loses, the Celtics lose, the Cavs lose. You got the 3 best teams in the NBA now, all lost at home, all down 0-1. Going into these game 2s where they got to win one of these 3 teams, whether it be the Celtics, OKC, or Cleveland. One of them's going to get upset in this round. I think Cleveland is probably the team to watch for the upset. I think the Pacers can beat Cleveland. I think they might beat Cleveland. OKC, I think, and Boston, I think, are going to regroup from this. Now, listen, if you're a Knicks fan today, you got your chest out. You're happy. This is the best win you've had in decades. Right? Brunson came through after hitting the game-winning shot. Brunson, yeah, he was a star. He's always the star, but he wasn't the only star last night. And that's what's most important. They played good defense. They were running the ball up the court, and they were resilient. They could have very easily laid down and, okay, we're down 20 points. We'll get them in game 2. But they didn't do that. They fought back. And that was good to see. And it was good to see the other guys get involved. It wasn't just Brunson, clear it out, let Brunson deke and, head bob and weave his way in and then take a shot. And another good thing that I liked was that after Brunson missed that shot, I was thinking that was their shot to win, right? They got to do this. They got to get it over with now. Hit this shot. They got the ball, tie game, 5 seconds. With 9 seconds, I think there was left on the clock in regulation. Brunson's got to hit this shot. They got to do it now because I don't think they could survive overtime. And then they come out and they blitz them with 6 straight points in overtime. They have a lead right off the bat, and Boston still fought back. Boston had a chance. They had a chance to tie the game, with that 1.5 seconds left. And Mikal Bridges with just an excellent play. And they got a little bit of luck, too. Because that when the Knicks had a foul to give, and they fouled out near that 3-point line, and it was close. It was the right call. The foul was on the floor. It was the right call. It was a good call. But it was close. I mean, you heard Reggie Miller say on the telecast that if their shoulders are facing the hoop, you got to let him shoot. Well, his shoulders were facing the hoop. He went, and Cat just grabbed him on the floor before he started to go, before he squared up and went up. I thought in real time watching it that oh man, they fouled him. He's going to get 3 free throws. And I think at that point in the game, if the Knicks would have lost, it would have just been demoralizing. There was nothing good you could take out of that. You know, you're not going to take out of the, oh, we came back, we cut it close, we could compete with them. At that point, the Knicks had to win that game. They couldn't lose. Because that would have been, just the best effort you get from the Knicks. And they probably would have lost in 4 or 5 games. Now you have belief. The fans believe. The players believe. 1-10 against all these teams that are better than them. Since Halloween, they won 1 game against a team that was better than them. But it was last night and it was in the playoffs. And Brunson was great. And they caught some breaks. The foul was just so close. It was the right call, though. It was the right call. And now the Celtics, I think if you're the Celtics, you're not too worried, right? If you're the Celtics, you take a deep breath. Listen, we played the worst. We can't play worse. We can't shoot any worse than we did. 35% from the field, 15 of 60 from 3. They were awful. I've never seen so. I mean, we knew that the Celtics take a lot of threes. We know that they're a great three-point shooting team. 15 of 60. I think that's a little too much. But the Knicks were good on the rebounds. They didn't dominate. Listen, the Knicks lost the 40 defensive rebounds for the Celtics. They also had 19 offensive rebounds. The Knicks got to clean that up because you can't give them second opportunities because I'm telling you, they're not going to shoot like that anymore. And if you give them second opportunities on a trip down the floor, they're going to beat you because they're going to hit the threes. This team is going to hit the threes. Now, what you got is you got house money to play with for tomorrow night because you've already accomplished everything you need to accomplish here in the first 2 games. You stole one. You got home court. The Garden's going to be a madhouse on Saturday. So you're in good shape if you're the Knicks. You're up 1-0. You got home court. You're going back home after you play a house money game on Saturday. And if somehow Celtics come out and they can't shoot the ball again and the Knicks can steal game 2, well, then you could start looking ahead and talking about the Knicks winning the series. But right now, I think the Celtics are still in a good shape. They played as bad as they could play. And it took the Knicks overtime to beat them by 3 points. But if you're the Knicks, listen, that's not throwing shade on this at all. I'm not throwing shade on this win at all because this is the best win the Knicks have had in decades. And it was a huge win. And I know people are talking championship. Listen, don't get ahead of yourself. The Celtics are still the defending champs. They're still the best team probably in the NBA. They're still better than the Knicks. And I still think they will win this series. But if the Knicks are going to win it, that's the blueprint. You saw it last night. It's Brunson having his spurt, but not being the only spotlight on Brunson the whole game. OG, you need him to hit the shots that he hit. You need Brunson to be the facilitator. Get the ball the outside. Get it to Bridges. Get it to Cat. Play smart. The Knicks played smart. And they come away with a 108-105 win. And we have ourselves a series. Right? We got a series now. At least that. Because if you go down 2-0 and then you win one, make it 2-1, and then it's 3-1, it's not really a series. Never really was in doubt. Right now, there's some doubt. And the Knicks provided it last night by going into Boston and coming out with a 108-105 win in overtime. And listen, enjoy it, Knicks fans. Enjoy it. You deserve to enjoy it. Because you haven't had many of these. And it's Boston, and it's nice. It's nice. Today's a good day to be a Knicks fan. But now, the next two days or 3 days is going to be a good day to be a Knicks fan because your house money tomorrow, you could get blown out by 30 points. It's okay. You're going back home 1-1. And like I said, if they could somehow, some way pull out another win in Boston, well, then we could start talking about the Knicks and possibly go into the next round. But there's a long way to go before this. It's a long series. It's only game one. So don't get ahead of yourselves. But fantastic win. I think OG is my player of the game. Great defense by Bridges in the last couple possessions of overtime and in regulation. Brunson was his regular superstar self. And Karl-Anthony Towns played a fantastic game, hit big shots. And they played good defense. And the Knicks don't play good defense. So enjoy it. Knicks up 1-0. They steal home court back. Steal home court from the Celtics. Game 2 tomorrow night. Eastern Conference Semifinals. Knicks and Celtics. From the Brian Gunzel Studios, I'm Bob Walters. See ya.